everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Bookmarked by Aaliyah. Welcome if you're new here. If you are ever up suffering from insomnia and you're just like aimlessly scrolling on your phone, don't. Just go to bed, because I was up one night, like 12:30, 1 o'clock, just couldn't sleep or whatever. And I'm scrolling on TikTok, Google, whatever. I don't even know how I found this, but I found a website called World of Books. I think it's based out of the UK. They're a discount bookstore. They have new books, they have used books. I've never ordered from there, but their prices are better than the $5.99 sale from Book Outlet. The books that I got were all $3 and $4. They are used books, and they have the description there, good, very good, excellent, brand new. They have it there so you can kind of filter out what type of books you want. So we're going to open these boxes in, bags, whatever, together, because I have no idea what the condition of the books are. If you've never ordered from that site before, let me be your guinea pig, because that's what I'm doing right now. Because these books could look like they've been run over by a semi truck. I have no idea. But I did get 2 books from Amazon too. And I may or may not have 4 books coming. Judge somebody else. Don't judge me. Those books are coming like later today, but I'm in the process of working on a vlog for next week. So I'll show you those books whenever they come in, the next vlog. Let's get into this damage, y'all. It's not too many though, but let's get into it. If you've been here for a little bit and you've watched, my videos or whatever, you saw that I did a buddy read not too long ago with Kayla's Bookish Vibes. We read The Attic Child by Lola Jaye. Where that book wasn't my favorite book, it still was entertaining. I love the author's writing. You know what? I had a TikTok one time, showing whatever books, like a Last Now Next or something like that. And it was on this side of the room. Lola Jaye commented and said, "Do I see my book in the background?" I was like, "Oh my God, yes, it's your book." It was so exciting. I don't know why we think authors are like celebrities. I mean, are they though? Is an author a celebrity? That just made my heart smile that I wasn't even showing her books. You know what I mean? It was just in the background of what I was showing at the time. And she saw it and she commented. So I love that. I love that for me. But anywho, because I liked that book so much, and that was the only book that I've read by that author, I picked up the Manual for Good Wives. The paperback of this doesn't come out until like next year. I think if I ordered it from like overseas in the UK or something like that, I could get like the pink one, but y'all know I'm weird. Y'all know I went and looked at the dimensions of the book. The book is too small. I don't like the size of the paperback, so I just went and got the hardcover. So this is Manual for Good Wives by Lola Jaye, and I cannot wait to get into this. I've already done a sneak peek of the audio to see what this sounded like, just in case I have to, go between, audio and physical, like I do with like every book almost, seems like these days, if I have the audio available. And it's a British narrator. Y'all know I love the British accent, so I can dig it. But this is Manual for Good Wives. I'm going to try to read these as quick as I can, because I don't want to spend the whole video just reading the inside of books. To the world, Mrs. Copperfield is the epitome of Victorian propriety. An exemplary society lady who writes a weekly column advising young ladies on how to prepare themselves for marriage and to be better wives. Only Adeline has never been a good wife or mother. She has no claim to the Copperfield name, and she is not an English lady. Now, a Black woman born in Africa who dared to pretend to be something she was not is on a trial in the English courts with all of London society baying for her blood, and she is ready to tell her story. That doesn't tell you a thing. And I love it. I love that it barely tells me anything. It seems like this column that's being written is giving like lady, what is it? Dang, what's her name? Whistledown? Is it Lady Whistledown? Dang. I gotta binge watch Bridgerton again. I don't remember her. Is it Lady Whistledown? I don't know. Whatever. It's giving me that vibe, like that's the column with the gossip and everything. And, just being a lady and, just etiquette. And I don't know. And it looks like somebody doesn't want to do that. She's terrible at all of it. So I don't know. I have no idea what I'm getting into, y'all, but I'm loving this. It's present day. And then it goes a dual timeline to like 1800s, looks like. Yeah, I can't wait. Then I just got tired of seeing this book, The Perfect Sister. Looks like a little bit different for me. And honestly, y'all, the cover sold it for me. Look at the artwork on this book. Like, it's a pretty Black girl. What's that sound? If it's a black girl on the cover, I'm buying it. So I don't know. It's a pretty cover. So Pandora Harris grew up in an inclusive community just outside of Atlanta called the Black Woman Separatists. They do not believe in men, sons, or any other race aside from their own. Pandora has never felt the need to question anything, not even the woman who raised her, until her best friend in the community goes suspiciously missing around her 30th birthday. Pandora is bravely ready to risk it all when she decides to break out of the community in search of her best friend, but ends up with more than what she can handle. Kaylin Jones is a no-nonsense detective in Atlanta who's placed on leave after being on the task force that deals with one of the most dangerous cults in the South, Black women separatists. His traumatic connection with the cult is the direct result of his mother giving him away just because he was born male. 30 years later, he gets a call from a woman who is in search of her daughter, who she believes is alive and wants his help in finding her. The perfect sister, who has never laid eyes on a man, and an irate male who struggles to trust women enough to let his guard down. The craziest twists and turns happen when these two cross paths in Atlanta on a Friday night that leads them to realizing they're connected in more ways than not. I feel like this is going to be a page turner, and that's why I got it. It's very different. I think I've read one book that was ridiculous about a cult, but it wasn't a cult like this. This is a cult that's just for women. If you have a child and they're male, I don't know where these babies go, but that's what I'm going to read to find out what happens to the males. It just seems like it's going to be so different. A girl's going to leave only thing she's ever known, all women, to go into the world to find her best friend, get in contact with probably the first man she's ever seen in life. You know what I mean? And what's going to happen from that? Is it going to be a love story? Are they just going to be friends? I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm getting to in this book, but the cover was pretty, and that's why I got it. It's on Kindle Unlimited. So why did I buy the book? Because it's pretty. All right. So those two were from Amazon. So we're going to get into this world of books. So it's from the UK, but I think depending on what books you get, that it gets there's local hubs in the US, because this one wasn't too far away where the local hub was. I ordered these books literally, y'all, 3 days later they came. So I was shocked. I didn't even look at the tracking for it. They said, oh, your order has shipped, but if it's coming from the UK, it was no reason to like track the order, because I'm like, this is gonna be like, it takes 2 weeks to come from Canada when I do book outlets. So I was like, this is not going to come anytime soon. And then I get, your package will be delivered today. And I was like, wait, what? And so I looked, and it was like shipped from like Ohio or something like that. I don't know, but it was close. So luck of the draw. You might order these and get them 3 days later. It's almost like Amazon. So this could be bad. So with this one, it's been a minute since I've read a book by LJ Shen. And this book seemed a little different. I've read maybe, I think I gave one away, but I don't know, it's up there somewhere, I think. I've read 2 books by LJ Shen. One was standalone, and one was part of a series that I haven't continued. And I like the books. They're a good time. It's nothing like, oh my God, y'all gotta read LJ Shen, but it's really a good time when I read these books. They have a little bit of, backstories with the characters. It's a, spicy read. Well, yeah, I'm not about to say most of the time. Like, I think all of her books are pretty spicy, but not like insanely spicy. There's still a plot, there's still a story. And this one just seemed, from the 2 that I've read, those 2 were like a grumpy sunshine. This one just seemed like it was deeper. So I picked it up. I don't know. And this one actually was a brand new book from there. So these are all the used books. This is a brand new book. So, scarred by guilt, carved by tragedy, healed by love. They say first loves are oftentimes the end of one's innocence. Those words couldn't ring truer for Evelyn Lawson, whose first brush with romance came with a heartbreak, and the thing that seems to follow her everywhere she goes, death. After a great tragedy, Evelyn loses all she cares about, her dreams, her family, and her soulmate Joe. Guilt-ridden, Evelyn decides to isolate herself in Salem, Massachusetts. A shell of a woman she once was, she takes her days one at a time, careful not to allow herself the joy she believes others in her life were robbed of. But when the mysterious, handsome Dominic storms into her life, it becomes more difficult to stay in solitude. Dominic is different, adventurous, joyous, with lust for life and passion to make her his. Evelyn is on the cusp of reinventing herself once again when the old wounds of her past are resurrected. Rawer than ever, There is nothing worse than being in love with two men, especially when one of them hates you. That got me. I think that last line is what got me. The whole, especially when one of them hates you. Who is this other man? Is it somebody from her past that she thought was gone and now they came back after she's fallen for Dominic? Like, I'm not a fan of a love triangle, but when it's written like in a mysterious type of way, like One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, that was a love triangle. It was something that was just like not a cheating love triangle or anything like that. Like, it was just different. So hopefully this gives me that same type of feeling, like a different type of love triangle. And I want to see where this goes. Okay. So these are the used books. So we're gonna see what we're gonna get. And if these books are in like a crazy condition, I'm not gonna feel that bad because I literally paid no more than $4 for these books. So okay. First one I got. It's been a minute since I read anything. What is this? What is that? What is this? I don't like it. Is that a bookmark? What is that? What is that? Not starting off too good, guys. Oh, it's just something from them. I was like, ew. Okay. So I'm Lysoling the hell out of these books too, by the way. Anyway, so this is What Alice Forgot by Leanne Moriarty. This book has been on my TBR on Goodreads forever. Since I read Big Little Lies by her and The Husband's Secret by her, I was like addicted to her books. I haven't like gone down a rabbit hole and bought all of her books, but the synopsis of this one it just keeps popping up. And I was like, okay, $3 and some change. Like, I'm gonna get it. It's a decent condition. It's a little, you can tell it's old, but this is an older book anyway. I don't remember when this was published, but I know it's an older book from her. This was published in 2014. So I don't expect this book to be like new white. Wherever I find this book, 9 times out of 10, like if I were to go to Second and Charles, every time I go in there and see this book, it looks like this. Like, it looks older. Again, I'm Lysoling these books. Alice Love is 29, crazy about her husband Nick, and pregnant with their first child. So imagine Alice's surprise when she comes to on the floor of a gym. She also hates the gym and is whisked off to the hospital where she discovers the honeymoon is truly over. She's actually 39 years old and has 3 kids and is getting divorced. That knock on her head has misplaced 10 years. Now Alice must piece together the events of the lost decade to find out if it's possible to reconstruct her life at the same time. She needs to figure out why her sister hardly talks to her, and how is it that she's become one of those super skinny moms with really expensive clothes. Ultimately, Alice must discover whether forgetting is a blessing or a curse and how to start over. So one minute, she's 29, loving marriage, she's about to have a baby. Next minute, she wakes up in a gym. It's 10 years later, and her life is basically falling apart. Her life is nothing of what she knew prior. How did that happen? I love her books because the mystery, the suspense in them, literally, you read suspense for the whole book. Maybe the last 20% or something like that really gives you like your closure or your big reveal as to what happened. But it's a page turner. Her books have always been a page turner. I think I've read, like I said, 2. I want to say I've read 3. I just really can't remember what the other book is, if it is a third one. But I always have a good time when I've picked up her books in the past, and I want to do it again. All right. It's like Christmas. I don't even know what's next. Then I have Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. I think this would be my 4th or 5th book by her. I've read The Weight of Blood. I've read Monday's Not Coming, Allegedly. It's another one. Can't remember, but this is the one that I just kept putting off for whatever reason. This has been on my Kindle for I don't know how long. I take it off. I put it back on. I take it off. I put it back on. Y'all, I know the girlies love Tiffany D. Jackson. I like her. I really do. I really, really like her books. Monday's Not Coming was probably my favorite one by her. But like I've said before on videos in the past, I'm one of those that I want closure. When I get to that last page and I close this book like this, I want closure. I don't like open-ended endings of books where I have to draw my own conclusion. And I just feel like I'm loving her books, loving them when I'm flipping through, when I'm reading. I can't put it down. Oh my God, what happened to Monday? Like, why is the mom so crazy and allegedly? What really went on? You know, like, I want to know. I'm in the story. But when I get to the end, it doesn't satisfy me. So that always takes a notch down on my ratings with her books because they just don't, they don't wrap up like I want them to. You know what I mean? But I love them. I still would recommend her every day of the week. But I don't know. I heard this was gonna make me mad anyway. So, but whatever. Well, I mean, what's the difference between the other 3 books I read or 4, or whatever? It's gonna. I'm prepared to not have closure. So as I'm reading and I'm getting excited in my back of my head, I'm gonna feel okay knowing that I don't have closure. It was different like the first book, the second book, but now like I know how she writes. So can't wait to read this. When legendary R&B artist Corey Fields spots Enchanted Jones at an audition, her dreams of being a famous singer takes flight until Enchanted wakes up with blood on her hands and zero memory of the previous night. You get in for a mystery, you're in for some thrills, you're in for what happened. I don't know. I've heard people just compare this to basically R. Kelly. I'm gonna leave it at that. Then I have, are they gonna put these in every single one? I don't even know what it says. I keep taking them out and I'm not even reading them for real. I just know it's from them. Oh, you can sell your books back to this site too. Whatever. Okay, thought I put that out there. You can sell your books. This is another book that I've been having my eye on for a while. I think it's going to be uncomfortable. I think it's going to be a tough read. This is Parish by Latoya Wackett. I kept seeing this book everywhere, but knowing that it was uncomfortable, it's like My Dark Vanessa. Like I know that's going to be an uncomfortable read when I read it, so I got it in a little free library. You know what I mean? Like, so every time I saw this book, it was like $17 for hardcover. The paperback was too small, couldn't get it. So I was just like, I don't really want to spend $17, $18 on a book what if I don't finish it? You know what I mean? So I saw this one, it was $4. So I got it. Bear It or Perish Yourself. Spanning decades, Parish tracks the choices of Helen Jean, the matriarch of the Turner family, and the choices that have rippled across generations from her childbirth to her grandchildren and beyond. Told in alternating chapters, Parish follows 4 members of the Turner family. Julie B., a woman who regrets her wasted youth and the time spent under Helen Jean's thumb. Alex, a police officer grappling with a dark and twisted past. Jan, a mother of 2 who yearns to go to school and leave Jerusalem, Texas and all of its trauma behind for good. And Lydia, a woman whose marriage is falling apart because her body can't seem to stay pregnant as they're called home to say goodbye to their mother and grandmother. This family's reunion unearths long-kept secrets and forces each member to ask themselves important questions about who is deserving of forgiveness and who bears the cross of blame. Set in vividly drawn Texas and tackling themes like trauma, legacy, faith, home, class, race, and more. This beautiful yet heart-wrenching novel will appeal to anyone who's interested in the intricacies of family and the ways bonds can be made, maintained, or broken. This seems like it might be sad. So I'm going to save this when my mental is on point. So we'll see what happens there. Then I got, so this one was actually free because at the time that I bought these, it was buy 2, get 1 free. So this one was free. But, I tried to test the waters and put like 3 more and see if like every 3rd book was going to be free. No, they only gave me 1. So I have The Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. Is that how I say that last name? I always see it and can't say it. Acevedo. I really don't know. Flora has a gift. She can predict to the day when someone will die. So when she decides that she wants a living wake, a party to bring her family and community together to celebrate the long life she's led, her sisters are surprised. Has Flora foreseen her own death or someone else's? Does she have other motives? She refuses to tell her sisters, Matilda, Pastora, and Camilla. But Flora isn't the only person with secrets. Her sisters are hiding things too. And the next generation cousins, Ona and Yadi, face issues of their own. Spanning the 3 days prior to the wake, Family Lore traces the lives of each of the martyr women, weaving together past and present. Santo Domingo and New York City. Told with Elizabeth Acevedo's inimitable voice, this is an indelible portrait of sisters and cousins, aunts and nieces, one family's journey through their history, helping them better navigate all that's to come. It just sounds like I love a good family book. I don't know why. I think because I came from like such a small family. Growing up, it was just me, my brother, my mom, and my dad. Like where like my husband is like one of 6 kids. So it was 8 of them in the household. You know what I mean? So like I've always like, been low-key jealous of people with those like big families where like you have these big gatherings where, that's the only family I had. It was four of us, and all the rest of my family, was from New Orleans or St. Louis. So I love books about family, like just because like it gives me a sneak peek of a life that I've always envied in a way. You know what I mean? Like I would have in one way I say I would have loved to have a whole lot of siblings, but at the same time, not so much. But it's just I love it. You know what I mean? Like because everybody gets together. I don't know. I can go on a whole rant about family, but I love a good family book with a little drama. Then I feel like this is never ending. Then I have Blue Sisters. I hate this book, and I'm still gonna buy it on hardcover whenever somebody gives me gift cards. Husband. So I hate this book, y'all. I don't know. I might get it on Kindle or something. I might just keep this book, but I don't like this book, y'all. You see this book? Like I don't like it. I don't. It's little. I don't like little books. I do not like little books. This one's a little bit big. You see, it's the height difference. Well, it ain't too much different, but this is thicker. I don't know. I hate it though. I hate this book. Oh yeah, look at this writing. Oh yeah, Little Free Library, here you come. But again, $3. This is another like sisterhood book, I believe. The word's so small I can't even read this. Do y'all know what this book is about? I can't even read this book for real. I gotta hold it all the way out. Y'all know I'm old. The three Blue sisters are exceptional and exceptionally different. Avery is the eldest and a recovering heroin addict turned straight-laced lawyer. Lives with her wife in London. Bonnie, a former boxer, works as a bouncer in Los Angeles following a devastating defeat. And Lucky, the youngest, models in Paris while trying to outrun her hard partying ways. They also had a fourth sister, Nikki, whose unexpected death left the family reeling. A year later, as they navigate grief, addiction, and ambition, they must return to New York to stop the sale of the apartment they were raised in. But coming home is never easy as it seems, as the sisters reckon with the disappointments of their childhood and the loss of the only person who held them together. They realize that the greatest secrets they've been keeping might not have been from one another, but from themselves. It gives me the same feelings like Hello Beautiful, by Anne. I can't remember the last name, but that gave me. It was about sisters. That was loosely a loose retelling of Little Women, but it was about sisterhood. And this is what this is gonna give me whenever I get the hardcover. And then I got Swift River by S.E. Chambers. The cover alone is gorgeous, and I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about this book, but I see it a lot on Goodreads, like, whoever's reading Swift River or whatever, but like I haven't really like read any reviews on this. I just read the synopsis, sounded like something I could get into, and I got it. It's the summer of 1987 in Swift River, and Diamond Newberry is learning how to drive. Ever since her pop disappeared 7 years ago, she and her mother hitchhike wherever they go. But that's not the only reason Diamond stands out. She's teased relentlessly about her weight, and since Pop's been gone, she is the only black girl in all of Swift River. This summer, Ma is determined to declare Pop legally dead so they can collect his life insurance money and get their house back from the bank and finally move on. But when Diamond receives a letter from a relative she's never met, key elements of Pop's life are uncovered, and she is introduced to two generations of African American Newberry women whose lives span the 20th century and reveal much larger picture of prejudice and abandonment, of love and devotion. As pieces of their shared past become clearer, Diamond gains a sense of her place in this world and in her family. But how will what she's learned of the past change her future? The story of first friendships, family secrets, and finding the courage to let go. Swift River is a sensational debut that heralds the arrival of a major new literary talent. So I didn't know this was a debut novel. So obviously this girl is mixed. Her mom must be white and her dad is black. She's the only black girl, I guess, in this town, city, school, whatever. And her navigating life through that. And it looks like because of secrets, she finds her dad's side of the family, and the story goes from there. This seems like a perfect fall winter read, and I cannot wait. Okay, this is the last one. Jeez. I got Lessons in Chemistry. Do y'all know how hard it is to find this cover? They've made like 2 or 3 alternate covers to this that has like the periodic table on it. And I hated chemistry, and I don't want that periodic table. It gives me flashbacks and PTSD of high school. I hate chemistry, but I don't like that cover. I don't know. I just don't like it. So this was the cover that I liked. I like the color of it. I like the glasses, the pencil. Like I wanted this cover. And I see it all the time in Second and Charles, all the time. This cover is in Second and Charles, but for a hardcover in Second and Charles, sometimes it's still like $10 or $12. And I don't know that I'm gonna love this book. I have battled between this book since I first got back into reading, about what, 4 years ago now, that I've gotten back into reading. And I've tussled back and forth with this book. Like, am I gonna like this book? Is it gonna be boring? Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be empowering? But for $4, I'll give anything a try. So I'm finally down. It's a little wrinkled on the back a little bit. But y'all, the quality of these books, they're not bad at all. They're not bad. For them to be used books, like you could tell this one came from Barnes and Noble. It has a sticker on it. Like, these books are in good condition. And I honestly think when you get a used hardcover, the condition will probably always be better than the chance of risking a paperback. Chemist Elizabeth Zott is your average woman. In fact, Elizabeth Zott would be the first to point out that there is no such thing as an average woman. But it's the early 1960s, and her all-male team at Hastings Research Institute takes a very unscientific view of equality, except for one, Calvin Evans, the lonely, brilliant Nobel Prize nominated grudge holder who falls in love with, of all things, her mind. True chemistry results. Like science, though, life is unpredictable, which is why a few years later, Elizabeth Zott finds herself not only a single mother, but also the reluctant star of America's most beloved cooking show, Supper at Six. Elizabeth's unusual approach to cooking proves revolutionary. But as her following grows, not everyone is happy, because as it turns out, Elizabeth Zott isn't just teaching women to cook, she's daring them to change the status quo. Laugh out loud funny, shrewdly observant, and studied with a dazzling cast of supporting characters, Lessons in Chemistry is as original and vibrant as its protagonist. This just sounds like a fun time. It sounds like a fun time. She's a chemist, but she's on a cooking show. But what's she gonna do on this cooking show? I don't know. I don't know. I can't wait. So these are all the books that I got in this book haul, and I can't wait to get to them. I'm gonna put these to the side real quick. So, side note from the book haul, I didn't do a September wrap up this month just because I realized that all the books that I read for the month of September, I talked about in depth on reading vlogs throughout the month. The only two that I really didn't talk about, I don't think fully, are these two. I might have talked about this one. I just can't remember if I did or didn't. And I know I didn't talk about this one. We'll get to this. But this one, I had kept from the time I bought this book. I know I've said on this channel a million times that there were so many mixed reviews on this book, and I wanted to see what side of the fence I landed on. I landed on the side of the fence that loved this book. I really, really, really enjoyed this book. It is on the same level of all the Emily Henry books that I've read. I literally have rated all of Emily Henry's books 4 stars, I believe, maybe like 4.5. I don't know that I ever rated one 5 stars. I don't think I have, but I was down. I was down with the risks she took, with like the historical portions of it, with the interview portions of it, with the suspense, with like, she took some risk with this book with what she threw in there. It was different from her previous books, but it also had the same foundation that she uses in all her books. I have said before, like, I literally do not read her books. I don't pick up her books because I'm interested in a love story. I pick up her books because of the found family, because of everything else, the subplots, the friendships. Like, I pick up her books for those reasons, and I still got that in here. A lot of people, the little gripes that I would see, on reviews or whatever, would be like, it was like insta love. They got together way too fast. I didn't believe in their relationship. I mean, I don't believe in any of the relationships in Emily Henry's books. They always seem just superficial. They never seem deep enough for me, but I still enjoy the story where they were together in a town that's not their own, a very small town, for 3 months. What did y'all think was gonna happen? It's gonna happen if they're spending a lot of time with each other every single day for 3 months. Like, they were bound to get together, and it's only like a 400-page book. They had to get together at some point. Like, so, I mean, if she would have waited to put them together in the last 20%, then people I feel like would have been saying, I wanted to see more of the relationship. So you really can't win. It's just based upon your preference of what you like in a book. And my preference was satisfied. So I really enjoyed this book. Jessa Hastings, Time of Your Life. Y'all know I love Magnolia Parks. I love Magnolia Parks. It's the most ridiculous series that I've ever read in my life. It has no plot. The writing, it sounds like I'm just talking to you. There's no like poetry. There's no, flow. You shouldn't like her books, but I do. So with that being said, this was too much. This was way too much. And I did not enjoy my time. However, I couldn't put it down for the most part once I got into it. Because it's like, I've said it before and other people say it too, reading Jessa Hastings, well, I will say Magnolia Parks in this, not so much Conditions of Will, not so much that one. Reading her books are like watching a reality TV show. So you're watching Housewives, you're watching Love and Hip Hop, you're watching whatever your reality, the Kardashians, whatever your reality TV show of choice is. There's no plot in that. You are literally the camera is following people live their lives. You're watching them go eat lunch. You're watching them at a photo shoot. You're watching them, do whatever their home life. You're watching them interact with their kids, with their man, whatever. You're literally just following characters in her books like you would a reality TV. So if you are in a reality TV type of mood, but you don't have anything to watch, I recommend you pick up a Jessa Hastings book. However, Magnolia and BJ in the Magnolia Parks universe were toxic as hell. This was way worse than BJ and Magnolia. It was toxicity on crack. I don't like it. I didn't like it. So I don't know. I don't really have much to say except that I wasn't a fan. But it's Jessa Hastings. I'm always going to buy her books. For whatever reason, she's an auto-buy author. Not an auto-buy author because she just writes the best books ever. No. I can't even tell you why she's an auto-buy author. And I'm not even just going to try to persuade you to buy all her books because I know 95% of people don't like her books. It's just a me thing, and I do. So anywho, that's it, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up here. Next month, you definitely will have a wrap up. It's just that I know I talked about those books in depth and I didn't want to be redundant. If you do want to see the reviews and my thoughts on the books that I read in September, please go back to my previous vlogs for the month and I will talk about those books more in depth there. I'll keep going with my wrap ups. I'm not done doing my wrap ups. It's just for this month, for last month. So as always, thank y'all for hanging out with me, seeing what books I have to add to my shelves. I hope you see some here that grabbed your attention and that we could read these together. As always, thank y'all for hanging out with me today, to looking at all the books that I should not have purchased, but I purchased 8 books for $40. So I can't be mad at that. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, comment, and hype this video. All the books I talked about are linked below in the description section, and I will see y'all next Sunday.